Thank you, DPM Heng. Our friends from around the world have just joined us virtually via the ITAP Connected platform. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and thank you for joining us online. Now, the global pandemic has brought about challenging times for the world's industries. Business survivability and transformation are the two biggest challenges that the manufacturing industry is now facing. On top of increasing productivity, it's about finding new opportunities to urgently accelerate and support their agility and responsiveness. Now, to bring on a business leader well-versed in this topic, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming SingX CEO, Mr. Aloysius Orlando, on stage for his welcoming remarks. Mr. Orlando, please.
Very good morning, Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Heng Swee Keat, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests present here and tuning in from the region, friends from the media, and ladies and gentlemen joining us here physically and virtually. A very warm welcome to Industrial Transformation Asia Pacific 2020, the hybrid edition. In usual times, Dr. Jochen Kirkler, Chairman of the Managing Board, Deutsche Messe, our international partner, will be here to join me in welcoming everyone. But we are in unprecedented times. Economies, enterprises, and societies have been disrupted by COVID-19. This pandemic has led to the greatest migration of mankind, the immediate shift to the digital platform to continue business conduct and livelihoods. The events industry is no exception. Like many industries undergoing accelerated digitalization, business events like ITAP have to pivot to new hybrid platforms to keep our customers networked and facilitate their learning and business collaborations. As global travel and border restrictions will take time to be lifted, this hybrid event model will very likely become the default model for customer engagement and businesses to reach out to more customers in a COVID-safe world. Our partner, Deutsche Messe, experienced this change very quickly in March when they had to cancel their signature trade event, Hannover Messe, and work with their clients to present it in a new format. They developed Hannover Messe Digital Days to feature 200 speakers and 100 partner companies who showcased their new innovations via the online format. With that experience, they recently launched HOP, which stands for Hannover, Up in the World, consisting of different studio setups and digital solutions for their customers to produce hybrid events. On the SingX front, since April, we had repurposed Singapore Expo into a community care facility to support our nation's healthcare efforts in managing COVID-19. In the process, we acquired new capabilities in safe management protocols and digitalizing our operations. These are now part of our new playbook for hybrid events, as well as the recently launched Resilience Roadmap for the event industry. This roadmap provides an operational guide for organizers like SingX to carry out safe business event management and hybrid event models and build new core capabilities. To this end, SingX has been strengthening our capabilities in areas such as content production, broadcasting, digital solutions, data insights, and community engagement, so that we can effectively meet our customers' needs as economies and industries gradually restart business. For both Deutsche Messe and SingX, the hybrid model is becoming a test of our agility and transformation to survive and thrive in a post-COVID world. This is why ITAP 2020 is a milestone event. It is our first hybrid event as Singapore begins to gradually restart business events in a safe and responsible manner. We are hosting the virtual edition on an insights-driven, custom-built interactive platform called ITAP Connected. With this platform, businesses and professionals in the advanced manufacturing and related industries can engage meaningfully as they embark on efforts to recalibrate the way they operate, rethink supply chains, digitalize their businesses, and build new core capabilities so that they can sustain and expand their business operations during these very challenging times. In ITAP Connected, users will experience a mix of live and pre-recorded content over these 3 days. They can view live streams of conference sessions, activities at our physical bolt-on venues, and interact with the on-site participants in real time. In fact, let's say a quick hello to our partners at Schneider Electric and Singapore Polytechnic.
Hi, Aloysius, Deputy Prime Minister Reng, and everyone. Very happy to be with you today remotely. I'm Charlie Lupard, Vice President of Process Automation Business Unit from Schneider, and speaking to you live today from our Innovation Lab in Singapore. This is one of the physical bolt-on location of the ITAP 2020 that we will be streaming live from on Thursday. You will see a series of sharing of hands-on demos and live panel discussion during the 2 hours pack of event that we have prepared for our guests. Here, the community, we will be meeting and exchanging between experts and discover how technology is helping to better produce in a sustainable manner. So life is on with Schneider Electric, and we look forward to seeing you in our facilities. Looking forward to meeting you. Back to you, Aloysius.
Thank you, Charlie. Yu Chong?
Hi, Aloysius and DPM Heng and participants of the ITAP. I'm Lo Yu Chong from Singapore Polytechnic, streaming to you live from Advanced Manufacturing Center. We have actually set up Advanced Manufacturing Learning Journey here for our SMEs to learn about the journey from Industry 2.0 to 3.0 to 4.0. And so we will be very happy to host the ITAP participants on Thursday going through this learning journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie and Yu Cheong, once again for your support. We are indeed looking forward to the activities on your side on day 3. Personalization is key to optimizing users' participation and experience in ITAP Connected. Therefore, users can personalize their digital learning journeys with bite-sized content that cover the themes of workforce upskilling, resilience and recovery, organizational transformation and digitalization. All this valuable content and the conference sessions will subsequently be made available on demand. In addition, most recorded sessions will be made available in 6 languages, including Bahasa Indonesia and Vietnamese. Users will also gain access to qualified recommendations of solutions and products, targeted networking, and lead generation opportunities. We've also redesigned key features ITAP is known for, such as Gateway to Industry 4.0 Learning Journey, the Robotics and Collaboration Lab, the Digital Sandbox, and the community platform called Interchange. They have been optimized for participants to derive effective engagement, learning, and collaboration. For instance, users can connect easily with exhibitors recommended to them by the AI-powered recommendation engine that considered their interests and business objectives. At the Robotics and Collaboration Lab, users can examine up close different aspects of affordable and customizable robotics solutions in their 3D forms. At the Digital Sandbox and Interchange, users can partake in conversations with other users in the community to gain first-hand insights on I 4.0 related topics and collaborate with one another on possible I 4.0 solutions. So we have many exciting happenings lined up for everyone. ITAP would not have been possible without the strong support from our steering and international advisory committee members, embassies, exhibitors, and our 5,000 registered attendees from over 50 countries. Not forgetting our supporting organizations and trade associations, 10 of whom have specially joined us now to give all of us a virtual hello. Hello, everyone. I'd like to thank DPM for taking time off his hectic schedule to join us in person today. To our friends who aren't able to join us live now, a pre-recorded version which Dr. Kirkler and I did will be available on ITAP Connected. On behalf of SingX and Deutsche Messe, I'd like to wish each and every participant, both online and on-site, a rewarding time at ITAP 2020, the hybrid edition. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Orlando, and thank you for providing us a wonderful taste of what's to come for the next 3 days, and may I invite you to take your seat. As we just heard from Mr. Orlando's opening remarks, businesses have to think creatively, accelerate their digital transformation, and grow their digital core capabilities so that they can continue to operate, sustain, and even expand their business operations. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's our pleasure to present our next keynote speaker, Ms. Dorothy Baer, Minister of State for Digitalization at the Federal Chancellery, Federal Republic of Germany. Thank you. Ms. Baer, please.
Dear Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Mr. Hengst-Wikiet, dear ladies and gentlemen attending ITAP 2020 physically and digitally. Thank you very much for your kind invitation. It is a great honor to speak to you on the occasion of the opening of the Industrial Transformation Asia Pacific in 2020. Containing the coronavirus is a major challenge for all of us. Corona and the lockdown have caused a deep recession in Germany and in many parts of the world. Border closures and the disruption of supply and value chains have particularly affected trading nations such as Singapore and Germany. Global trading goods might go down by more than 10% this year. At least the recession seems not as deep as expected. Strict lockdowns and economic stimulus packages have so far helped to keep the virus in check and save the world from an even deeper recession. In many regions of Europe and the world, we are currently seeing a massive increase in corona numbers. I very much hope that a new lockdown can be avoided. In Germany, in order to stimulate the economy, we have released a fiscal package of about 4% of GDP. A large part of the package is very forward-looking. In particular, we will strongly increase public investment into renewable energy and digitization. All over the world, social distancing and lockdowns have boosted digital technologies tremendously. Which brings me to the topic this fair is all about, Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 and the Internet of Things have produced new processes and new service-oriented business models. They are fundamentally changing our lives and our industry all over the world. Industrial production is becoming faster, more efficient, and highly flexible. Industry boundaries will shift, and rigid value chains will become networks of value creation. This will create new opportunities for growth. The German government has taken the initiative to promote this development by a national platform of relevant stakeholders. Today, Industry 4.0 has become a global brand. Asia, and in particular Singapore and its industry, is one of the key drivers for Industry 4.0. Let me invite you to intensify the cooperation between Germany and Singapore on the issue of Industry 4.0 even further. Singapore is already an important trading partner for Germany. Our bilateral trade has reached more than 13 billion euros in 2019 and making Singapore one of Germany's top 3 trading partners in Southeast Asia. German companies also favor Singapore as a regional hub because of its good business conditions. Singapore and Germany are strong advocates of open markets and diverse and stable trade relations. I am therefore very pleased that the EU-Singapore Free Trade Agreement entered into force in November 2019. However, Germany's interest in its partnership with Singapore and the region goes beyond economy, trade and industrial cooperation. It is a strategic interest since we want to strengthen our ties with partners in the Indo-Pacific in order to diversify our foreign relations and reduce unbalanced dependencies. This is the objective of the German government's new policy guidelines of the Indo-Pacific region, finalized this summer and approved by our government. Our closest partners in this approach will be those with shared interests and values. such as multilateralism, rule-based order, and respect for international law. Singapore is in these regards an outstanding example. As an important and always constructive player within ASEAN, as a long-time supporter of a multilateral approach and peaceful conflict resolution. We are looking forward to identifying new areas of cooperation with Singapore. We want to deepen our relations in the fields of international politics, in security policy, economy, research, but also culture and people-to-people contacts. We believe in the added value of effective multilateralism. I wish you now all a great fair. Thank you very much for having me, at least in a digital way, and I'm looking forward to visit Singapore as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
All right, a true testament to the importance of digitalization and collaboration in a new operating environment that has accelerated the creation of new processes and new service-oriented business models, all towards the aim of future-proofing the manufacturing industry into one that's even faster and more efficient than before, and most importantly, highly flexible. Thank you, Ms. Baer. You've given us a lot to think about. It gives me great honor now to welcome Deputy Prime Minister Heng Swee Keat on stage for his opening address. DPM Heng, please.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all. It gives me great pleasure to be here at the Industrial Transformation Asia Pacific, or ITAP, for a second year in a row, and to also be at the first hybrid event that SingEx is doing on this digital platform. It's a pleasure to address those of you who are here in SingExpo as well as digitally across the world. Now, the circumstances we are in today cannot be more different from last year. COVID-19 has turned into a global crisis with disrupting many economies and societies. Over 75% of global manufacturing operations have been affected by the virus. Yet, in the shadows of COVID-19, there remain opportunities and hope. In fact, COVID-19 has accelerated digitalization and Industry 4.0. Many companies are responding to the fast-evolving situation. Manufacturers around the world adapted their capacities and capabilities to join the fight against COVID-19. Pharmaceutical and medtech companies have stepped up the development and production of diagnostics, treatments, and potential vaccines. Automotive and electronics manufacturers responded to requests to produce ventilators. Breweries and distilleries converted their production lines to meet demand for hand sanitizers. Companies in Singapore have also adapted well. For instance, Forefront Medical pivoted its manufacturing capability to produce swabs for COVID testing. Racer Technology branched into the production of surgical masks and face shields. Around the world, the lockdowns have disrupted supply chains and affected the availability of workers. Companies with global supply chains were most greatly impacted. But I'm glad that many of those based here in Singapore, such as Syngenta and Coca-Cola, are able to continue production by making adjustments to their operations, reskilling their workers, and expanding their network of suppliers. Today's event is another example of how we have adapted. As we heard from Aloysius earlier on, this is the first virtual event, and it brings together digitalization, and you can see that digitalization is not just about manufacturing, but I believe that it's going to cut across what are traditionally services sector involving a lot of face-to-face contact, that we are actually in the midst of exploring a new mode of engagement with people around the world. So while there are some constraints which a normal face-to-face type of interactions would overcome, but there are also new possibilities, as we heard from Aloysius, that you now have many more people around the world who are taking part in this event and taking part in the follow-up from this event. So I applaud SingX and Deutsche Messe for your resilience and creativity in redesigning ITAP as a hybrid event, and I encourage you to explore the frontiers of this new hybrid. This is critical because COVID-19 will be with us for some time to come and will not return to the way of life before the virus. For example, in the manufacturing sector, there will be an increased premium on resilience as companies rethink their production and supply chains. There will be added impetus for the reshoring, regionalization, and diversification of production bases and supply chains. And as we heard from Ms. Dorothy Baer earlier on, Industry 4.0 is important, and that there are a lot of potential for collaboration between Singapore and Germany, and indeed between Singapore and many of our members of the EU, because we now have a EU-Singapore free trade agreement. And in fact, Singapore has free trade agreement with every country in Asia. In particular, Southeast Asia and Singapore are in a good position to be part of this reconfiguration of supply chains in the coming years, and driven by this trend in globalization, driven by the digitalizations of many of the processes, including manufacturing processes. So Southeast Asia and Singapore can be a part of this reconfiguration because the 10 economies of Southeast Asia collectively represent the world's 5th largest manufacturing economy, with US $600 billion in value add. Thailand, Malaysia, and the Philippines are established manufacturing hubs for motor vehicles, electronics, and chemicals. Vietnam and Indonesia are fast emerging manufacturing hubs. Singapore is a resilient base for advanced manufacturers in the region. As we emerge from the worst of the crisis, we are strengthening the foundations for manufacturing by increasing digital connectivity, strengthening maritime connectivity, and restoring air connectivity. The future of manufacturing will also be determined by the convergence of digital and other advanced technologies. IoT, AI, robotics, and additive manufacturing will redefine the nature of manufacturing. The pace of change will further accelerate as firms seek to overcome the shortage of workers and to minimize contact between workers during this period. Singapore is committed to develop and grow cutting-edge capabilities in advanced manufacturing. Advanced manufacturing is a core focus of our R&D efforts and will continue to feature prominently in our Research, Innovation, and Enterprise 2025 plans. To emerge stronger as an economy, we commission industry-led alliances for action to prototype new ideas in growth areas, such as in robotics and the digitalization of supply chain. A number of manufacturing companies are actively participating in these alliances. Successful prototypes can be scaled up to benefit our economy and manufacturing community. Singapore can also be a more digital and more resilient advanced manufacturing base in Asia for the world. I'm glad many companies continue to keep faith with Singapore during the crisis. Last month, Siemens announced the opening of its Advanced Manufacturing Transformation Center to help companies transit into 3D printing and Industry 4.0. More recently, Hyundai Motor Group broke ground for its Innovation Center, which will include an electric vehicle production facility. Both facilities will be based in the Jurong Innovation District, which is shaping up as a one-stop advanced manufacturing hub in Singapore. So I encourage our friends from abroad to further explore opportunities here. In Singapore, advanced manufacturing continues to grow and create new jobs and training opportunities for people during this period. For example, companies such as NVIDIA, Omron, and PBA Robotics have committed to train 500 mid-career job seekers for roles such as automation engineers and machine learning specialists. Given the speed of innovation and industry change, continuous upscaling and reskilling will be a permanent feature in advanced manufacturing. I'm happy to announce that A-Star and the Nanyang Technological University will be establishing an advanced manufacturing training academy. This new setup will identify emerging skill sets and coordinate training and skills development for advanced manufacturing. Providing a more resilient and digital base for advanced manufacturing is part of Singapore's vision to be a global Asia node for technology, innovation, and enterprise. And as part of this vision, we can further contribute to industrial transformation and growth in the region in 3 ways. The first area is in the setting of standards. Singapore launched a Smart Industry Readiness Index, or SIRI, in 2017 to help manufacturers start, scale, and sustain their manufacturing transformation journeys. Last year at ITAP 2019, I launched the SIRI Assessor Program. We have since graduated the first batch of 15 assessors and are looking to expand this program. Today, I'm pleased to announce that EDB will be partnering the World Economic Forum, McKinsey, Siemens, and Tussaud to further grow the pool of SIRI assessors. Over the next 18 months, this partnership will train 100 assessors across 20 countries. These assessors aim to conduct SIRI assessments for 1,000 companies globally. Through this collaboration, we hope to increase the sharing of insights and best practices and create more opportunities for us to learn from one another. The second area is in human capital development. The Asian Development Bank and the Singapore Polytechnic will be launching the Global Technology Innovation Village. This new collaboration will train regional governments and business leaders in areas such as advanced manufacturing, 5G, and AI. It is a collective effort involving almost 20 industry players and government agencies. The third area we can grow the region is by strengthening business linkages across borders. One example is a refreshed version of the Germany-Singapore Business Forum Connect. The first edition will be held virtually during ITAP to deepen business and innovation collaboration. I hope new partnerships will be formed between participating Singapore companies and German companies with presence in Southeast Asia. By working together and strengthening regional integration, Southeast Asia can fulfill its potential as a regional manufacturing powerhouse. In every crisis, there is opportunity. As the fourth industrial revolution gathers steam, we must make the most of the opportunities in this crisis to ride the waves of growth in a post-COVID world. I encourage all of you to explore the exciting virtual format that ITAP has put together. And to our friends from abroad, I welcome you to visit Singapore when the situation permits. And to all our participants, I wish you a fruitful and inspired day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Prime Minister. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for the next segment of our program, an exclusive dialogue with Deputy Prime Minister, please join me in extending a very warm welcome to my co-host and dialogue moderator, Ms. Manisha Tang.
Vivian, thank you so much, Deputy Prime Minister. Thank you also. Please do take a seat. Get yourself comfortable. Good morning, everyone here, and good morning, everyone online. Good morning, DPM Heng. A very inspiring speech, as usual, and I'm sure you'll be making the afternoon headlines you normally do, which is great. He's probably one of the most busy men in Singapore today, so thank you so much for being with us. So I want to pick up on some of the things that you spoke about there, and important, I think it is to mention that the last time we met, you didn't have to wear a mask and I didn't have to wear a face shield. A lot has changed, yes. But I think these are almost badges of honor at the moment because they show resilience in a very difficult situation. You talked in your speech about how Singapore can show more resilience and more digitally advanced manufacturing and be a base in Asia for the world. And this is a really important point. Is this going to be one of the key growth areas, would you say, for Singapore as we move forward? And if it is, why?
Well, advanced manufacturing will certainly be a very core area for us. Well, if you look at the Singapore economy, we have traditionally maintained a strong manufacturing base. And manufacturing now accounts for slightly over 20% of our GDP. And we intend to keep a well-diversified economy. We have undertaken to grow a well-diversified economy because we believe that you need many engines of growth. And that allows us to be better diversified, to be more resilient, and also to build on the linkages across industry cluster. So a good example is that I think this exhibition would not be here if not for the fact that we have a strong manufacturing sector. And so the boundaries between manufacturing and services are blurring. And I believe that with digitalization, it will blur further. And that the convergence across industry is where many of the new innovative things will happen. And the other aspect is that the COVID has taught us a very important lesson, and that is the importance of resilience. So if you look at our economy, the parts of the economy which involves a lot of face-to-face interactions have to be, the activities have to be cut down in order to tackle COVID. But on the other hand, the manufacturing sector, and particularly those which are highly automated, are doing very nicely. The sectors which are involved in the production of face masks, involved in the production of pharmaceutical products, are also doing well. So I think a diversified economy in a situation like COVID is valuable, and you don't know what new shocks may happen, and therefore we will always do two things. One is have a diversified economy, and two, make the best use of what we have to draw linkages across clusters so that you can create a much more diversified economy, and which is also the way for us to build a more innovative economy. Because as I said, innovation is going to happen at the convergence and in intersection of many different sectors.
And I suppose it pays to be very agile and responsive as part of that.
Indeed, indeed.
Okay, well, let's go to actually a question that we've picked up from Interchange. So this is great. This is from ITAP Connected. This is from our online audience and participants. And I want to paraphrase a question that's come in from Sing Wei, which is on our discussion forum. In this question, it is pointed out that many industry players, and I'm paraphrasing here, are dealing with an already very daunting scenario, you know, and you talked about it in your speech and how we're all having to respond to coronavirus. We've already heard this as a theme this morning. This is a new normal for a lot of manufacturers. So why the further push into Industry 4.0? Some are saying, I'm already dealing with enough. Why do I have to embrace this other layer now?
Well, I would say that, COVID has accelerated so many trends which are already happening. So before COVID, Industry 4.0 and the digitalization of the economy, not just of manufacturing, but even of services, is already happening. And COVID has has taught us the importance of resilience. And because of that, I think it is a trend that will only go faster. And it is important for us to embrace that. And going back to the Industry 4.0 itself, I think in the manufacturing processes, we went through various industrial revolutions. The first industrial revolution, which involves, the use of the first, second, and third revolution, the third one involving computerization, and the fourth is where you have the fusion of the digital and the cyber. And this fusion, this combination is going to be very powerful because the Internet of Things are going to connect devices much more pervasively. The use of data is going to be much more pervasive. And I would say that it's not even just the manufacturing processes. If you look at the whole trading system, we are in the midst of working on the network trade platform where the approval processes with the authorities will be done digitally. So the transmission of data to enable transactions of all kinds will be quite revolutionary. And we are in the midst of this revolution. We are, some of it involves a G2G agreement, and we are in the midst of some G2G pilots, with ports around the world for the exchange of trade documents, for the exchange of invoices, and so on. And the banks are taking part in this because, again, having been in the Monetary Authority of Singapore, I believe that digital finance will be another major change. And when you are able to exchange data, capital, the flow of money, the flow of goods, the flow of information will basically reconfigure many of the business processes. And in the manufacturing sector alone, the changes that we saw, whether it's about the Internet of Things, 3D manufacturing, the predictive maintenance, the way that you can use data much better for just in time, as well as now just in case. All those will grow, and our ability to use data smartly will be key to any company's competitiveness.
So true, and just in case, that's become a real part of our recent narrative, has it? This is the third and the last question for you. You rightly said in your speech that in every crisis there is an opportunity. Mm-hmm. So obviously that begs the question, where do you see the opportunities for Singapore and the region beyond the manufacturing sector?
Well, in fact, there will be many, and I think it can take me the whole day to talk about this. But let me just touch on a few. The first is I mentioned in my speech about how the different countries and different companies will be looking at how they can increase resilience of the system. And I believe that there will be some reconfiguration of the global supply chain. People would like to look for a more resilient supply chain. And I think if you look at demand and how demands are growing around the world, I believe Asia will continue to be a growth area with strong growth in demand. The COVID has not altered the fundamentals of growth for many Asian economies. And with that, the Asian economies will have to look very carefully about how it can reconfigure its supply chain, that if you have a COVID situation or something that is disruptive, what can you do to ensure that your supply chain remains resilient? Now, I don't think it is possible for any country to be totally self-sufficient. I think autarky has not worked. And as Mr. Dorothy Best mentioned earlier, the adherence to a rules-based multilateral trading system that is based on global trade remains important. But I believe that given the way that trade is done, that the gravity model will still take hold, and that you will find that the regional collaboration will be a lot stronger. Just as you see in Europe, the trade within the EU is actually remains very strong. So I believe trade in Asia will remain very strong. And one important opportunity is how Singapore can serve as the node for trade. Right? That how do we link global and Asia, and how manufacturers can base themselves in Singapore for a range of relationship. And Singapore has negotiated a large number of free trade agreements with countries around the world that will allow for that flow of goods and allow for a far more efficient supply chain. So that's one. Another is that many parts of Asia are facing an aging population and a declining growth of workforce. So economic growth is going to come from productivity growth. And productivity growth will have to come from technology and innovation. So if you look at the manufacturing sector, it has been extremely effective compared to many other sectors in the way that it has been able to use the latest technology, whether it's automation, robotics, Internet of Things, and so on. And I believe Industry 4.0 will accelerate all this trend. COVID will accelerate this trend. And therefore, I announced earlier that as part of our research R&D plan, we have always had a strong emphasis on this. I will continue. In fact, we are looking at the number of possibilities of what we can do in that area. And the third area is sustainability. So COVID has taught us that suddenly there's a far more interest now on the sustainability issue. And I do believe that we need to take care of our planet, we need to take care of our environment. I think many countries in Europe are very advanced in this area, and there's much that Asia can learn. Now, we ourselves have been very fortunate that our founding Prime Minister, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, was a greenie before the term was invented, and that's why he kept large parts of Singapore still reasonably green. And the latest version is that, well, we don't want to just be a garden city. We want to be, from garden city we became a city in a garden, and now we hope to be a city in nature, that to be able to live in harmony with nature. And we are going to invest in sustainability in our research and development work, and we look forward to collaborating, because this is a global challenge, and I think only through global collaboration can we resolve this. So for all of you who are hearing us online, if you have particular areas of interest, you're most welcome. You're most welcome to send us your ideas on how we can achieve both economic growth to enhance the well-being of people around the world, as well as protect the planet. I believe that there are ways for us to achieve both. It's not binary, it's not one or the other. So those are the, some of the opportunities that we need to tackle global challenges, be it climate change, be it aging population, be it effective and ethical use of technology. Lots of new boundaries are opening up. We just got to open our minds.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And open our arms to collaborating with people around the world.
Yes, well, that's what events like this are all about, aren't they?
Yeah.
And you also in your speech mentioned a few initiatives, some of which we're going to announce more about as we go through the program today.
Yes.
But are you sitting comfortably? Because you've got a little bit of waiting and up and down to go, so I want to prepare
I'm
you.
perfectly comfortable.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. Well, at this point, I just want to thank you for the insights in that dialogue just then, because I've certainly taken away some really great points, and I'm sure our audience here at Singapore Expo, Max Atria, as well as our audience online on ITAP Connected have as well. I want to move now to our virtual attendees joining us from ITAP Connected, actually, because I want to let you know that if you have registered for the Future of Manufacturing Summit, it has actually commenced. So feel free to jump off and you can join in on that now. And as for everyone else, next up on the agenda, a very exciting development that we're looking forward to, and that is the launch of the Advanced Manufacturing Training Academy, or AMTA, or AMTA, you can call it what you will. It is an industry-led national program office supported by, and let me warn you, here come the acronyms, A*STAR, EDB, ESG, NTU, and SSG, in partnership with two more, WSG and JTC, and strategic training providers and industrial partners to future-proof and enhance the competitiveness of Singapore's manufacturing workforce. So very much in tune with your speech. Let us watch this video to witness how this is going to be achieved.
Industry 4.0 is transforming how enterprises research and develop, manufacture and distribute goods. These technology shifts present an opportunity for Singapore to grow its manufacturing industries in a globally competitive and sustainable manner that provides economic growth and good jobs. To keep pace with advancements in technology, our workers across the manufacturing sector must acquire emerging competencies and skill sets. The Advanced Manufacturing Training Academy, or AMTA, is key to future-proofing Singapore's manufacturing sector and enhancing the competitiveness of its workforce. Through close industry ties, AMTA will be able to foresight future in-demand skill sets, evaluate existing training offerings and identify gaps, and facilitate the development of new and targeted courses and curriculum in close collaboration with training providers. As the hub of Singapore's advanced manufacturing training ecosystem, AMTA will coordinate training strategies across the manufacturing sector to meet skills demand and supply through an agile industry-driven approach that spotlights changing technology trends and business models.
Industry 4.0 is rapidly changing the way companies work, from digitalization tools to advanced manufacturing using 3D printing and collaborative robotics. Building on the university's deep expertise in the areas of advanced manufacturing, engineering, and education, we'll seek to develop new training pedagogies in advanced manufacturing, curriculum design, and certification together with AMTA. We'll collaborate with institutes of higher learning and training ecosystem providers to develop and deliver an inspiring hands-on learning experience. Our learners will be well equipped to lead the change in adopting Industry 4.0 processes at their own workplaces.
AMTA is committed to enhancing the competitiveness of Singapore's manufacturing talent. This will enhance workforce resilience in light of technology disruption and establish Singapore as a top-of-mind location for advanced manufacturing activities and Industry 4.0 skills and technologies.
The Advanced Manufacturing Training Academy, AMTA, is a national training program to position Singapore's manufacturing workforce at the cutting edge of Industry 4.0. AMTA aspires to foresight new skills, collaborate with strategic partners, and deliver training to meet industry needs, and strengthen Singapore's manufacturing competitiveness against the backdrop of rapidly changing technology trends.
Technological advancements are driving rapid transformation of the manufacturing industry. With the rise of digitization and convergence of technologies such as robotics and automation, artificial intelligence, and additive manufacturing. These are changing the ways that products are made, processes designed, and supply chains integrated. We need to have effective skills training at scale to ensure that our manufacturing workforce of the future can be a step ahead in these global shifts taking place. A-Star will leverage its deep capabilities in Industry 4.0 technologies to work in tandem with AMTA, industry partners, academia, public agencies, and the local manufacturing ecosystem to meet these dynamic needs.
So that's AMTA for you, a truly remarkable milestone for Singapore's manufacturing industry, and I'm sure all of us here are very much looking forward to seeing it take shape.
Yes, indeed we are. Yes, indeed we are. And with that, can I take the opportunity to invite the representatives from the aforementioned agencies, which are A-Star, EDB, ESG, NTU, and SSG, to join DPM on stage for a photo-taking session. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the following. Professor Tan Tzu-Wee, Assistant Chief Executive at A-Star. We have Mr. Lim Kok Kiang, Executive Vice President at the Singapore Economic Development Board. Mr. Lee Kok Choi, Chairman, AMTA Training Council. Professor Ling Sang, Deputy President and Provost at NTU. Dr. Michael Fong, Deputy Chief Executive, SkillsFuture SG. And last but not least, Mr. Ted Tan, Deputy Chief Executive, Enterprise Singapore. And everyone taking their positions on stage. A quick reminder, gentlemen, if I could trouble you to take down your mask briefly for the purpose of photo taking, and you can put your mask on after that. Alright, when the masks are down, photographers, I invite you to come and take your photos of our group. In just a moment when the masks are off. Alright, thank you everyone. You may now put your mask back on, and we want to invite you to now go back to your seats. And DPM, if I can trouble you to return to the sofa, which we will be setting up again for you in just a moment. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Vivian. Well, that was all very smooth. Everyone looking very sharp this morning. Nice to see that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, we're going on to the next segment of our event today, and we'll be witnessing the launch of the SIRI Internationalization Project Partnership between the World Economic Forum and the Singapore Economic Development Board. We heard briefly about it in DPM Heng's speech, of course, but just to give you an overview once more of the project, the World Economic Forum and EDB will be jointly embarking on a project to drive the global adoption of the Smart Industry Readiness Index, otherwise known as SIRI, and it doesn't have anything to do with a very famous tech titan, SIRI for short. The objective of this partnership is to, of course, accelerate the use of SIRI as an internationally recognized standard, and that then catalyzes the pace of Industry 4.0 transformation across manufacturing communities around the world. So to scale SIRI into a global framework, what you need is 90 certified SIRI assessors, or CSAs. They'll be trained over the next 6 months, and these individuals will be experts and veterans selected from the industry partners of this initiative. They are McKinsey & Company, Siemens, and TÜV Süd. So through this project, the World Economic Forum and EDB will engage government bodies, trade associations, manufacturing leaders globally, and they'll share more on SIRI with a target of conducting 500 to 750 new official SIRI assessments globally by the end of 2021. So these assessments will establish the I4.0 maturity of these manufacturing operations and then help benchmark the facilities against industry peers globally. You can see how this gives us much more transparency and visibility on how peers are doing. So findings from the SIRI assessments will culminate in a white paper, which will be published at the 2022 World Economic Forum annual meeting to provide new insights on global development and progress around the I4.0 transformation of the manufacturing sector. So, time for another great video. This gives you more color behind SIRI and the program. Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention to the screens.
Manufacturing is on the brink of a new age. Industry 4.0, the coming together of the digital and physical worlds, will transform how products are created, how supply chains are managed, and how value chains are defined. For companies, Industry 4.0 could provide greater flexibility, efficiency, and speed. To help companies start, scale, and sustain their Industry 4.0 initiatives, we have launched the Smart Industry Readiness Index. The index has 3 layers that represent the 3 building blocks of Industry 4.0: process, technology, and organization. Within these 3 building blocks, there are 8 pillars of focus and 16 dimensions. For process, Industry 4.0 can integrate processes across operations, supply chain, and product lifecycle. For technology, if we view a facility as a human body, then automation is the muscle, connectivity is the nervous system, and intelligence is the brain. For organization, it is about talent readiness, the people, and structure and management, the company's processes and systems. Across 16 dimensions, companies will use an assessment framework to assess where they are across 6 bands.
The Smart Industry Readiness Index is a diagnostic tool to help companies develop awareness and to also figure out what gaps there are in their adoption journey for Industry 4.0. It provides a framework for a common language across different industry sectors and across companies of different sizes. We hope that this index will help companies take the first step in their Industry 4.0 transformation journey to become smart factories, smart companies for the future.
In Dosa food industry, we feel that the index is a very useful tool because it breaks down the abstract concept of Industry 4.0 into 16 dimensions, making it simpler for us to understand and visualize. We are able to identify where we are today, which band level we want to achieve in the short term, mid term, and long term. With the help of this index, we are able to come up with more comprehensive proposals when applying for grants from government agencies like Spring Singapore.
The Smart Readiness Index is comprehensive and relevant to all industries, including aerospace. And we look forward to working with our members on the adoption of this index and Industry 4.0.
All right, and we're so excited to make this collaboration a reality. Without further ado, please allow me to welcome the signatories in this signing ceremony, all of whom are dialing in from all over the world to come online and to give us a short commentary. All right, and we see the lovely faces on the screen. First up, allow me to introduce Mr. Jeremy Jurgens, Managing Director of the World Economic Forum. Mr. Jurgens, please.
Good morning. I'm delighted to be here today to announce our partnership with the Singaporean Economic Development Board on the Smart Industry Readiness Index. This is an important global endeavor to support advanced manufacturing development worldwide. Today, industry leaders face the twin challenges of the fourth industrial revolution and the Great Reset. To master the scope and speed of this transformation, we found a strong partner in EDB Singapore, and together we'll serve as a global platform for industry partners to further accelerate and scale these efforts. I'd also like to thank today Dr. Bay, Chairman of the Singaporean EDB, for his amazing vision and leadership in this effort. As well as I'd like to thank our partners at Siemens, McKinsey, and TÜV Süd for their contributions in embarking with us on this global journey. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jurgens. And next up, we'd like to have our industry partners, the first of which is Siemens, where we have Mr. Cedric Nijker, member of the Managing Board of Siemens AG and CEO Digital Industries. Mr. Nijker, good morning, and over to you. I think we are not getting his audio at the moment. Maybe we can see if we can get his audio going. We've unfortunately lost the remarks there from Mr. Cedric Nijker, but I'm sure that we'll hear from him. We can hear you, yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
So
Please
sorry
proceed.
for that.
It happens. Good morning.
So, Your Excellency, Deputy Prime Minister Heng, partners and guests, sorry for the little technical glitch, but on behalf of Siemens, let me say that we are very thrilled about this next step of SERI that Singapore's Economic Development Board, together with the World Economic Forum, has driven. The global rollout of the SERI toolset, including the assessment app, is actually accelerating the digital transformation of the industry worldwide. So Siemens, as an Industry 4.0 leader, we see it as our responsibility to help and with the global rollout of SERI, and we have nominated 30 assessors in the first step who will be certifying the SERI assessments. So we look forward for the results and continue to look on how we will collaborate with the Singapore Economic Development Board and the World Economic Forum to make Industry 4.0 reality everywhere. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Nijker, for Siemens' strong support of this initiative. Next up, we have Professor Axel Stepken, Chairman of the Board of Management, TÜV Süd AG. Professor Stepken, please. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to everybody in Singapore. Well, also from my side, the recognition of the SERI by the World Economic Forum and the partnership with EDB are a major step forward in establishing an international standard for the Industry 4.0. And we, as a trusted partner, ensuring a safe and secure, reliable Industry 4.0 transformation, TÜV Süd is fully committed to this initiative and will support companies to harness the potential of the Industry 4.0. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Stepken. And last but not least, we have Mr. Karel Alut, Senior Partner, Head of Operations and IIoT Practice Asia. Mr. Alut, please.
Good morning also to everybody there in Singapore, and thanks for the opportunity for us to be part of this great partnership and to say a couple of words because it's a special time. This year, we're living in very volatile times. There's disruptions in supply chain, in workforce, in what customers want. And in one of our recent surveys, we saw that 90% of the participants in the survey said that Industry 4.0 is a good answer to the challenges that we are facing today. And so we're very excited as McKinsey to be able to work with EDB and with the other partners to make this SIRI standard more available to manufacturers and to help them become more resilient, become stronger in the current world and in the world of the future. So looking forward to this, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Alut, and we're truly very excited too. And finally, could I please invite to the stage Dr. Beswan Jin, Chairman of the Singapore Economic Development Board, to come and give his short commentary. Dr. Bey, please.
Thank you. Good morning, Deputy Prime Minister Mr. Heng Swee Keat, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. The Smart Industry Readiness Index was created in November 2017 by a consortium of like-minded partners. I really hesitate for EDB to take too much ownership of that, because this would not have happened without the strong partnership from Tupsut, from Siemens, from McKinsey, and many others who contributed their expertise and time. We are very grateful for their support. Today, more than 340 companies, large and small, who originate from some 15 countries around the world, have already taken the SIRI assessments. So this announcement today of this new partnership with the World Economic Forum, again with the strong support of McKinsey, Siemens, and Tupsut, is an important milestone, because we have the audacious goal of wanting to promote and proliferate the use and adoption of SIRI so that it can become the international standard for manufacturers all over the world who wishes to evaluate and benchmark their Industry 4.0 journey. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thanks everyone for the short commentary on the partnership. Now I'd like to invite Dr. Bey and our Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Heng Swee Keat, to the middle of the stage as we are about to commence the signing of our collaboration document, a very exciting moment to make this multilateral partnership a reality. Now, for all our partners calling in, you have been provided with a link to sign on the document that everyone sees on screen. And when I give the signal on 3, of course accounting for a little lag, I'm sure we'll all be roughly at about the countdown of 3, I would like to invite everyone to sign your signature on the empty space to formally launch this collaboration project. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as the representatives sign, you will actually get the chance to see the signatures appearing real time on the document that you see behind us on stage. All right, I believe everyone is in position and ready. Now, at the countdown of 3, I would like everyone to please initiate your signatures on the empty space. Let's count down together. 3, 2, 1, and please sign. A very exciting moment seeing this collaboration become a reality. This is wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone. And I now officially declare the partnership live. At this time, I would like to also invite the senior local representatives of our industry partners up on stage to join us for a photo op together with DPM Heng and Dr. Bey. All right, we will have with us Mr. Raymond Klein, Dr. Alpesh Patel, and Dr. Andreas Hauser, please. And once again, gentlemen, if I could trouble you to take down your masks so we can see your lovely faces and beautiful smiles for the photos, so that we know how excited and pleased we are to make this collaboration a reality. Mask down, gentlemen, and photographers, please take it away. All right, thank you everybody, and we'd like to invite you to resume your seats. Don't forget to put your mask back on as you leave. And DPM, once again, we would like to invite you to take a seat on the sofa, which I'm sure you're very comfortable with at this point. So we'd like to invite you to proceed there. Thank you.
Hello again, DPM Heng. I hope it's all going well so far. A little bit of back and forth, but we're almost there. You are comfortable, aren't you?
Totally.
Excellent. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, we would love to introduce the launch of the Global Technology Innovation Village. So this one is GTIV for short. I've heard some people call it GTIV. What's your preferred version? GTIV, GTIV, maybe?
I prefer GTIV.
There we go. Okay, well, I don't know. We'll watch the video and we might get a different take on it, but
Right.
that's coming up. Now, this is supported by Skills Future Singapore. This is the first of its kind partnership between the Asian Development Bank and Singapore Polytechnic, and it will serve as a regional platform for Singapore to share knowledge and expertise in advanced manufacturing with regional government and business leaders. Under the GTIV, as DPM Heng likes to call it, an Industry 4.0 consortium has also been set up. So that comprises 19 technology leaders, SMEs, Standards Organization, Skills Future Singapore, and JTC. The regional collaboration then will develop Singapore as an innovative Industry 4.0 hub for skills and technology expertise, and of course, uplift the workforce capabilities in Singapore and across the region as well. So here's another great video for you on GTIV, and let's also witness the MOU signing.
The pace of change unleashed by digitalization has picked up in recent years, and more enterprises are now turning to digital transformation to make their businesses more agile, efficient, and competitive. As more businesses embark on upskilling the digital competencies of their workforce, the Global Technology Innovation Village, or GT for short, will enable us to share our pedagogical expertise and expand our I 4.0 learning offerings to support their transformation efforts. GTIV will play a pivotal role in empowering innovative enterprises from Singapore and in the region to raise their I 4.0 capabilities. And in so doing, we will establish Singapore as a beacon for I 4.0 transformation in Asia.
The proposed partnership between ADB and Singapore Polytechnic aims to leverage Singapore's experience and knowledge in developing skills in Industry 4.0 and entrepreneurship development for ADB's developing member countries. The participation of lead technology companies in GTIV will be a unique platform to encourage close collaboration and create a new model of cooperation between learning institutions and industries in their Industry 4.0 journey.
Skills Future Singapore is happy to support Singapore Polytechnic and the Asian Development Bank for GTIV. This Industry 4.0 consortium will bring skills and technology expertise to upskill and uplift workers, both in Singapore and the region. We look forward to more of such regional partnerships where Skills Future Singapore can play an active role.
As manufacturing evolves with rapid technological changes, it is crucial that the government, industry, and educational institutions collaborate to equip the workforce with new skill sets. Jurong Innovation District presents itself as an attractive gateway for businesses to learn about Industry 4.0 in Asia. The presence of strong foreign and local advanced manufacturing players in the district will allow Singapore to better support the transition towards advanced manufacturing in the region.
The initial series of programs under GTIV will be funded by Temasek Foundation International. Under this strong partnership, there will be Industry 4.0 courses conducted for government, business leaders from all across Asia. Working towards a successful GTIV outcome over the next 5 years, 19 partners are co-creating with us the latest and greatest technology, expertise, and proof of concept implementation. GTIV will be the platform for knowledge transfer amongst Singapore Polytechnic, consortium partners, and developing member countries across the region. With the signing of the MOU for the establishment of GTIV, together with our 19 partners, we will establish Singapore as the regional hub for Industry 4.0 adoption and technologies.
There we go, a true life virtual signing that we saw just then, and thank you very much for witnessing that, DPM Heng. Of course, a brilliant initiative there to boost Singapore's position as a global Asia node for Industry 4.0, and I think one of the things that I really liked there was a reference to Singapore as a beacon. What a lovely positive aspect to bring up there.
Yes, indeed. That was wonderful. Thank you, Manisha. And right now, I'd like to invite the following people on stage for a photo-taking session. I'd like to invite the following people to come and stretch their legs and their face muscles once again. We've got Deputy Prime Minister Heng Swee Keat. We've got Dr. Michael Fung, Deputy Chief Executive of Industry Skills Future Singapore. Ms. Sonali Tang, Regional Director and Head of Diplomatic Mission Singapore at ADB. Mr. So Wai Wah, Principal and CEO of Singapore Polytechnic. Mr. Tan Boon Kai, Chief Executive of JTC. All right, and mask down, everybody, so that we can see your beautiful smiles. Let's not have the mask hide those wonderful smiles this morning. And photographers, please take it away. Wonderful. Thank you, everybody. Can I please invite you back to your seats and have your mask on? And in this case, it also means for our DPM, you can also redeem your seat at the audience area. Thank you so much. I know of all of us, DPM has been doing the most exercise this morning, so we really want to thank him and invite him to relax and take his seat again. So everybody, please join me in saying a big thank you to DPM as well as all the signatories and witnesses for the MOU in Singapore and the region. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a very exciting and eventful morning and a fitting start to 3 days of ITAP 2020. It has been said by everyone who's come up to speak that there's so much to explore on ITAP Connected, and I'm definitely looking forward to jumping on and making some new connections myself. We're going to leave you with a visual preview of what you can expect on your journey the next 3 days. And once again, we thank you so much for joining us this morning. Have a rewarding ITAP 2020 and a fulfilling time sharing, learning, networking, and collaborating on ITAP Connected. Everybody, please enjoy the video. All right, wasn't that exciting? And that is a wrap. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, both here and online on ITAP Connected. You all have been a wonderful audience this morning. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to ask you all to please remain seated as our guest of honor, Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Heng Swee Keat, will now be taking his leave of us. DPM, thank you once again and have yourself a wonderful day ahead. Thank you so much.